Let's be honest, menus are at the center of a restaurant's success. A cool space, great service, engaging story, or a catchy name will only get you so far if the food fails to grab people's attention and keep them coming back for more. The menu draws people in, and it's what turns people into repeat guests. The menu is foundational to a restaurant concept and making sure that the food not only works from a consumer standpoint, but a financial one as well. The menu is imperative for a business to succeed. Today, I'm going to teach you how to turn your menu into one of your most valuable teammates, a teammate that no one can function without. Today, we are going to cover 3 secrets to building a successful menu so that your restaurant can start working for you instead of the other way around. Welcome, everybody. My name is Catherine Hubert. I am the owner and chef of a restaurant in Greensboro, North Carolina called Chez Jeunesse. We are a French-inspired cafe downtown Greensboro, and we have a social impact model that runs in conjunction with our business, which is that we are trying to change the way that our world both hires and views people with disabilities. We have been open for almost 7 years and are most known in our community for our warm and cozy vibes and our weekend brunch service. Our menu is a huge part of our identity. I partnered with another chef when we were opening on the basic outline and structure of our menu, and then I created all of the recipes. Our menu has morphed and changed some over the years, but our staples and our standards have stayed on there because they are the items that people keep coming back for time and time again. So I'm here today to break down 5 key secrets to menu development that not only keeps your menu working for you financially, but that also keeps your guests excited to keep coming back over and over and over and over again. Let's go ahead and dive in. Secret number 1, it's more than just food, it's about the feelings that food elicits. Food is a powerful presence in our lives. We need it to survive. It's what fuels us and nourishes us, and it also connects us. It connects us to other people, to cultures, identities, experiences, memories, moments, and at its best, to ourselves. I think that restaurant experiences at their best tap into all of these things. We as humans are hardwired to seek connection, to desire connection, and food can so, not easily because I think that there is an art to it, but can provide those things. And when people have a restaurant that provides them with that connection, that's going to pull them back to that restaurant time and time again. Now, this is, great in theory, but can also feel a little bit abstract. So I'm going to give you 3 principles that I use here at my restaurant that help me put that into daily practice. Number 1, the food on our menu means something personally to me. It's connected to me through nostalgia, or it's something that ties back to a moment or a memory that was special for me. That care and that sense that I had when eating that food in the first place then has become embodied in the recipes and the food and the presentation that we provide for our guests. And even though that's something that you can't necessarily always describe, it is an experience that is felt. When the food means something personally to the person who created it, there is an intimacy, there is a shared experience, there's something intangible that really does get passed from the chef to the guest. A great example of that on our menu is our Dutch baby. The Dutch baby was something that my mom made for me and my sisters every year on our birthday. It was something that was special, that we only got on our birthdays, that celebrated us, that made us feel really special. And so that's something that's on our menu here. And those same feelings of excitement, enthusiasm, I see that on our guests' face when that menu item hits the table because it's such a wow item to begin with. Number 2, our food is approachable. Yes, we are French inspired, but I want our menu to be done in such a way that people who have never had an experience with French food before would feel comfortable eating here. That's a really big part of providing connection. When someone feels intimidated, when they feel belittled, when they feel like they aren't even good enough to consume the food that's on the menu because they can't understand what half of it is, I think that makes it really hard for someone to enter into that experience with a feeling of safety, which then makes it hard for them to connect to themselves, to connect to the people around them. So having something that's approachable, it doesn't mean that everything has to be simple or that it has to be comfort food. It can still stretch someone's experience, but presented in a way that makes them feel cared for instead of making someone someone feel less than. And lastly, number 3, reprioritize. Because we're a breakfast spot, we prioritize breakfast foods that you probably wouldn't make for yourself at home. That way, coming here really does feel like an experience. It's something out of your norm. It's not something that you would just whip up in your kitchen at home. Our breakfast pizza is a really good example of that. Our eggs Benedict, our lemon ricotta pancakes, none of those are things that people are probably going to make at home on a Wednesday or a Friday or even a Saturday morning. And so their time with us here in our space gives them something to look forward to. It means that eating with us always, regardless of what you get, feels like a treat. Number 2 is creating a menu that is easy to consume both literally and figuratively. One of the things that was most important to me when creating the menu for this restaurant was it has to all fit on one page. I get so overwhelmed when I go to restaurants where they hand you a small book to read and you're having to flip through pages to decide what you want to eat. I think that decision fatigue is real. It also is hard to remember the things that stood out to you when you're not actively looking at them anymore. And so have something that's simplified, that's easy for someone to walk through, and that allows you to really highlight menu items that you want to encourage your guests to purchase. There is some psychology behind that. It's like on our menu, we have a bolded section that's outlined that's got all of our specials on it. So those are our items that we really want to highlight. They're things that are unique to us, but that also have a higher profit margin. And so then that's a great way for us to increase our sales, especially when we're doing our weekend brunch service. The other side of that is no restaurant can make 100 menu items and do them all well. Keep what you're doing to a reasonable amount so that you can execute what you do well. And this is going to save you a lot of money. It reduces your food waste because you can use items repeatedly over different menu items and recipes. It saves you on prep time because you're not having to produce just a crazy insane amount of different items of sauce, of this, of that for every single dish. For us, it saves on storage because we're a pretty small kitchen. We have a limited amount of space. So reducing what's on our menu also helps us reduce the amount of space that we need to store all of that food. And then lastly, it also helps in terms of flexibility or adaptability with your menu. You can change things up a little bit more frequently based on what the business needs are, what's selling well, what isn't, etc., because you're not having to do a complete overhaul on this giant menu. It's fairly affordable when we need to change menus to make those changes and then to have them reprinted because we're only reprinting one page every time we do that. All right, secret number 3. There is no quality of cooking that can outperform the quality of your ingredients. The quality of your ingredients that you're starting with is so important to creating a menu that people crave and that they want to keep coming back for and that they're willing to pay money for. American cooking oftentimes falls into the mentality of the more ingredients, the better. Like we think that more means more flavor. And so we tend to just like pile things on or in to try to get people to fall in love with the dish or to think that the flavor is really amazing. That's not necessarily the case. If you have 20 bland ingredients because they are generic or the produce was ripened by gas or and it was rushed from here to there, like that is going to change the overall impact when you're eating that food. It doesn't necessarily mean more flavor. The more important thing is to find and source ingredients that have a really good quality, and then the flavor can stand on its own. This is one of the things that I really admire about French cooking. They are not adamant about put as many things in one pot or one pan as you can. It's very much like let the beauty of whatever food you're trying to highlight, if that's a tomato, if that's an egg, if that's a chicken, if that's lettuce, if that's, whatever it is, you're going to make that the focus point, and everything that's added to it is only enhancing it. It's not covering it up. It's not trying to compete with flavors. It's just bringing what was already there out more. So a great way to do this is by sourcing things locally. That does change the price, but ultimately is beneficial for your entire ecosystem, and it's also better for your health. And this allows you to rotate your menus more seasonally too. adding in variety, highlighting things that are in season and that are going to just really pop when your guests taste them. This is a great way to encourage people to come back in. You've got new things that you're offering. You're highlighting food in the seasons that food is just screaming to be highlighted in. I've got 2 more secrets left to tell you, but if you're finding this content helpful, then please help me out by hitting the like and subscribe button, joining this community, and helping me grow the content that I'm able to create for you. All right, for secrets number 4 and 5, these two are gonna go hand in hand. Number 4, pay attention to your guests and be willing to adapt. This ties back to our first point of food provides connection. Before starting your restaurant, before developing a new menu, pay attention to what people in your area are talking about, what they say that they're missing or wishing that they had, what your community doesn't already have, the times of day that people don't have places to go to, or the gaps in restaurants or food service that you are experiencing in your area. All of these things are really important parts of developing a menu that's going to resonate and that's going to land with the people who are close to you geographically. For me, that meant that I wanted to be downtown Greensboro. I knew that there were very limited, as in at the time, there was only one other breakfast spot in downtown Greensboro. It was on the north end of downtown, so we ended up setting up on the south end of downtown. I also knew that parking was something that people complained about downtown, but on this end, there weren't any daytime places that were open really. It was mostly people who came here at night. So I was like, great, I'll have the market on all the street parking during my business operating hours. We didn't have any French food in Greensboro, and we didn't have any restaurants that brought kind of a big city feel to Greensboro. And so the menu, the concept, all of that was created with those things in mind, and it has landed. It's worked with people. It's provided something that we didn't have here that people either were wanting or didn't know that they were missing until they experienced it. That being said, we were 15 months old when the pandemic hit. So we were like, we're breakfast. We aren't open for dinner. We're French inspired. We only do in-person dining. We really did very limited takeout. And then it was like, just kidding. Breakfast food does not take out well, so we're switching to dinner service. We did a lot of comfort food because that's what people were wanting and craving during a really stressful and chaotic time. So we adapted. Our business looked different during those months, and then when the world changed again, our business changed again, and we went back to more of the model and the menu that we had originally, which is what we do best. But there was a willingness on our part to adjust and to figure out how to meet the needs of the people around us and how to be a place that really provided a sense of care and connection regardless of the season of life that they were in. All right, and lastly, number 5, stay true to yourself. It can be really easy, and this point may feel a little bit counterintuitive based on the last one when you're like, be willing to adapt. Yes, be willing to adapt with things that are happening around you. However, be true to yourself in the process. We never stopped being French inspired. We never stopped having the mission that we had. Our branding stayed the same. All of that was really important to us. It can be so easy as a restaurant owner and as a small business owner to get really bogged down in the opinions and the feedback of other people. They will always come. The opinions and the feedback will always come. Sometimes they're in the form of in-person comments. Sometimes, a lot of times, they're in the form of reviews. I just don't read our reviews anymore. I have someone else on my administrative team do that and respond on my behalf because I just am too emotionally invested, and it's hard to read those comments and to not feel impacted by them. So we do take people's feedback seriously. There are adjustments that we've made because of that, but we're not going to change who we are and what we do because someone else didn't like it. It's okay to not be liked by someone. It doesn't mean that what we're doing is bad, that what we're doing isn't working. It just means that we weren't somebody's preference. And that's okay. We don't have to be everyone's, and we're not trying to be. So be true to yourself. Try not to let the insecurity of other people's feedback or comments take you down or make you rethink or change your entire business model. Pay attention to the guests that you have and meet them where they're at, but don't lose your identity in the process. That's a really important part of who you are, and the world needs a lot of different restaurants and a lot of different identities. That's it for today. I would love to get connected with you if you're a business owner, if you're a restaurant owner, or if you work in a restaurant and are part of developing menus. If you have any other questions, please feel free to drop those in the comments below. We as a team right now are working our way to trying to earn a Michelin star. So that's part of the reason I made this video today, was one, to to hopefully provide some assistance and some guidance to other people who are in the same boat as us, and also to continue to spread the word about the food that we are creating here. If you haven't checked out that video already, you can do that here, and we'll see you next week.